Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever Let's Play that I have with my brand new 3DS capture card, and I'll be playing 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. And there we have it. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, or should be 9 people, 9 doors. It's a novel type point and click adventure thing. It's the first of the current 2 Zero Escape novels. With this one there is no spoken dialogue, so I will try to voice act as well as I can and try to remember what the actual accents or voices I give the characters, because I can guarantee I'm probably going to switch back to my normal voice accidentally. So I'll try not to speak through any cutscenes such as this. A loud noise startled Junpei awake, and his eyes snapped open. As they adjusted to the light, he realized that he didn't recognize his surroundings. Ow! With a crack, Junpei's head connected with something metal. He rolled over and threw his hand out to steady himself, but he found himself groping at empty air. His balance lost, and his still fuzzy mind struggling to understand what was going on, Junpei tumbled down to the cold, grey floor. Ouch! Goddammit! What the hell? Junpei glared around the room, still trying to determine where he'd woken up. The fall had shaken the last cobwebs of sleep from his mind. Finally, he understood where he had fallen from. It was a bed. A third-level bunk bed, in fact. Junpei had fallen, apparently from the topmost bunk. His shoulder hurt, his knee hurt, his hip hurt, his entire body hurt. He could feel a bump forming on his forehead where he'd slammed it against the low ceiling. He wondered if the bump was the reason he felt his vision wavering a bit, but that seemed unlikely. At first he thought the tremor ran through his legs was just another effect of his rude awakening, but he looked around and realized it was real. The whole room was shaking. Was it an earthquake, he wondered? It didn't seem likely. It was shaking far too quickly for an earthquake. But then again, Junpei had no idea what it was. If not an earthquake, he tried to tell himself it was important. Junpei rubbed the growing bump in his head and gingerly climbed to his feet. His balance regained, he finally took a first good look around the room. And muttered to himself, "Where am I?" His pain momentarily forgot in the face confusion of his circumstances. Junpei looked around the room again. Minutes passed while Junpei struggled to get his bearings. Then, as soon as they began, the tremors ceased. A cold silence fell over the room. Oh, that is creepy. From somewhere far away, Junpei could hear the sound of metal squeaking. He felt his stomach tighten. There was 1,000 things the sound could have been, but none of the things he could think of were any good. In an attempt distract himself, Junpei looked around the room once more. There was a stove that looked more antique than functional. The 3-level bunk bed had mattresses that were so thin that they were little more than blankets. On the other side of the room was an identical bed, and set in the wall between the beds was a slightly dirty iron door. The first thing Junpei noticed about the door was a number roughly emblazoned across it. On the surface of the door, in red paint, someone had written, 5. 5? What's this 5 mean? Suspicious and still utterly confused, Junpei approached the door slowly. Standing at last in front of the door, Junpei grabbed hold of the L-shaped handle. A push yielded no movement, and a pull the same result. A few more tries cemented the truth in his mind. It wouldn't open. It didn't matter how much he pushed and shoved, the handle just wouldn't budge. Next to the door was an odd-looking device that reminded Junpei of a card reader. It didn't take a genius to figure out that the odd-looking device was keeping the door shut. Junpei knocked hard on the door. Hey! Hello? Is anyone there? Open the door! There was no response. Junpei threw his left fist into the door and stopped. What the hell is this? He wasn't really sure what to say. On his left wrist was a bracelet of a sort he'd never seen before. In the centre was a large LCD display. It looked like nothing so much as a watch, but it clearly wasn't that. After all, it only showed a single number. 5. That's the same as the door. True, the numbers were the same, but he had no idea what that might mean. All he knew was it was strange, and new, and he wanted it off. Junpei flicked his hand over as if to remove the watch, but the other side of the bracelet was solid. No buckle, no clasp, nothing. He sighed and flipped the thing back over. There were a number of rivets around the rim of the face, perhaps. He pushed them, and nothing happened. On a watch there may be dials for adjusting date or time, but on this bracelet they did nothing. Junpei was at a loss. What was he going to do? Growing more desperate, he began to tug at it. However... Damn! It's no good! Damn thing won't come off. A steel ring ran from the face, around Junpei's wrist and back into the face. He won't be pulling the bracelet off any time in the near future. What the hell is the deal with this thing? Frustration and desperation were beginning to mix as the reality of the situation began to dawn fully on him. So much was happening and none of it made sense. Junpei felt as though his head was about to explode. Where am I? Why the hell am I here? Why? Why? What the hell is happening to me? Ooh. It was at that moment in time he noticed the window. The window was round, rimmed in riveted brass, like a window from an early 20th century ship. What? Wait, am I in a ship? Junpei walked slowly towards the window. He could see nothing beyond it but thick, impenetrable darkness. Junpei squinted, trying to see something, anything. It was at that moment. What the... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. What the hell is going on here? Fuck. A crack split the glass of the window, and for a moment Junpei stared at it. Then, the window burst, and water began to pour into the room. What the hell? Ah, oh, god damn it! Junpei yelled, spun around. He felt his feet slipping on the water already coming through the window. He ran to the door. Hey! Anyone! Is anyone there? Come on, if you're there, say something! Excuse me? There was no reply. As Junpei screamed and pounded on the door, the water began to rise. It was now ankle deep on the floor, and rising quickly towards his knees. Things were not looking good for Junpei. Not at all. He needed to find a way out, and quickly. Junpei ran a hand across his forehead, brushing the sweat out of his eyes, and looked around the room. this is where the point and click comes in. Operations during escape. During an escape, you can move around the different parts of the room by touching the bottom screen. Since many areas require exact selection, we recommend you use the stylus. Searching during escape. During an escape, you can touch the background to search anywhere in the room. Areas you can investigate will be highlighted yellow the moment you touch them. Depending on the nature of the location you touch, you might find an item or a hint. Begin searching the room by touching place on the how to move. Touch the triangle button on the bottom screen. Doing so will change the viewing angle of the room and move you to different locations. You can do the same thing by pressing left, right and down on the control pad. Bird's eye view. If you want to know where you are, touch the X button on the camera icon on the bottom screen. This will show you where you are and which direction you are facing. Saving during escape. Pressing start will allow you to save. If you want to quit, we recommend you pressing start. The purpose of escape is to leave the fucking room. Duh. Right, okay, whatever. You need to search all throughout the room to discover what you need to do to leave. Makes sense. Search for hints and items that may help you find a way out. Okay, so I've done this little bit before because there was a demo on months ago, probably about a year now, and this was exactly the same. So you basically need to find some card keys or key cards, whatever, to actually leave the room. So and then touch the search button on whatever. I can't do the voice, the more it hurts. Okay, so on the bottom screen you can use your stylus and start to spin things around. So if you find like a piece of paper, start spinning stuff, you can examine bits and pieces, because parts of it might come apart, it might have hidden messages on the back, so it's always good to just spin stuff around, keep examining it, press the R button just to examine, because you may miss something. Pressing up on the control pad will select another item for you to hold. Okay, so picture frame, like I said, spin it around and you can see some screws on the back, so just press R to search. There's a picture of a ship in it. There's screws keeping the back on. So now we need to find a screwdriver. So if you spin round, look into this pot, you'll find a key, I think. Yeah, blue key. Huh? Looks like there is. Key, yeah, there's a little blue key in the bottom of the pot. Oh my god. So, click into the stove. Come on, You may not be able to see, but on this little stool inside the stove is a screwdriver. So I'm going to combine this screwdriver and the picture frame. Well, the screwdriver, I've got those screws off easily enough, and here's the picture. So spin it around, and you find a sort of code that works for each of the images. So if we look at the red triangle, it's filled in. It is a 7, and the empty triangle is a 4. So you just need to try and match those up. Combining items. If you take 2 items you found and combine them, they may turn into something else, which I've just said. Yada yada yada. Thing is with this, you can't skip it because this is like your tutorial level. So if you could skip this, you miss the whole thing. Right, leave. So you have to search the beds because there may be something in it. You don't really want to go to the blue briefcase until you found the codes. But there's a red briefcase on the other side of the room, but you need to find the key first. So this is the other part of the code. So the last 2 icons of the first 2 icons of the first little slip we found match the last 2 icons of the just of this one that we just found. So you basically need to put the first 2 and the last 2 together, and that's the code for one briefcase. Here's the red key. Junpei grabbed the key and shoved it into his pocket. He intended to leave immediately, but something stopped him. His reflection stared back at him from the mirror, but he scarcely recognized himself. What's up with my face? His confusion was well justified. His face was drawn and pale, and the dark circles under his eyes made him look as though he was nearly dead. Man, what the hell happened to me? How did I end up here? Even as he said it, something in his mind opened, and a memory bobbed to the surface. It was the last thing Junpei remembered before waking up in the strange room. It was past midnight when he came home. Junpei shuffled up the stairs and opened the door to apartment 201. Inside was his apartment. Well, duh. A small one-bedroom affair that ran him around $630 a month. He moved into it when he entered college, and so far had been there for 3 years and 7 months. He stepped inside and turned on the lights. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling blinked and flickered slowly to life, as if waking from a deep slumber. Their cold light illuminated the landscape he'd come home to so many times before. Everything was as he left it. The magazines piled up in the corner, the textbooks collecting dust, the CD cases covering the floor, jeans and t-shirt he worn the day before and left on the floor. However, there was one thing that didn't belong. There was a breeze. Breaths of the cold night air wafted into his apartment, carrying the smells of autumn with them. The white curtain framed the window swayed gently in the wind. Huh? That's weird. Did I leave that thing open? Junpei walked to the window, trying to remember if he closed it or not before he left. One of the panes was hanging open. He stuck his head out and looked around. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Junpei shrugged. He must have just left it open earlier. He closed the window. Then it happened. What the fuck? Ah! Junpei turned and found himself face to face with a man in the mask dressed all in black. The man wore a deep hood and a bulky gas mask. His face was entirely hidden. Junpei tried to scream, but all he could do was a strangled croak. He tried to step forward towards the man, but his legs could no longer support his weight. His weight? Yeah. Junpei collapsed to the floor, a crumpled heap of limbs, like a discarded puppet. Too late. He noticed the white smoke that was quickly filling his apartment. A small object, shaped distressingly like a grenade, sat on the floor in front of him, his face, hissing. The white smoke poured out of it incredibly rate. The smoke had grown so thick that the details of Junpei's apartment began to fade in a white haze. He could feel his mind begin to fade as well. The white haze wasn't something about his vision. Consider this a privilege. You have been chosen. A rasping voice wormed its way out of the gas mask. It was cold, harsh, and distorted in some way Junpei couldn't put his finger on. You are going to participate in a game. The nunnery game. This is a game where you will put your life on the line. Do you like that? That was quite cool. That was the last thing Junpei remembered. The white smoke overpowered him. The masked man faded into his vision, and he felt his consciousness fall away into the white mist. That's right! The guy in the mask! Whatever. That son of a bitch must have taken me here. As to whom the masked man was, or might have been, Junpei had no idea. Indeed, he wasn't even sure that the assailant had been a man. The voice had been cold, mechanical, lightly passed through a voice changer, and the body being enshrouded in a deep cloak. Who was the man in the mask? You have been chosen. Junpei remembered that much, but what it might mean was beyond him. Junpei had no idea where he was or why he was there. There was only one thing from his memory that seemed important. You are going to participate in a game. The nunnery game. It's a game where you put your life on the line. The nunnery game? Huh? What the hell is a nunnery game? Ah, god damn it! With a yell, Junpei drove his fist into the mirror. Whatever. Okay, so you got the red thing. Right, so we need to look around again. And behind the pot is a closet or something. So, open this up. There's the lock on the briefcase, but it won't budge. Let's see if there's anything in the keyhole. So you have to put the key into the lock, and then you'll be able to move the dial around. So if you look back into the little piece of paper, we will find out the actual code. Oh, minigames. During an escape, your investigation may trigger one of several minigames. All operations for the minigames are done by touching the bottom screen. Some minigames will require you to manipulate something, while others will only require you to apply the right object or touch the right thing. Operation instructions. Touching the die will cause it to move to the next number. Enter 4 numbers this way and then touch the key. So first one is a 7, second one is a 4 balls, then it's 8, and then 5, so it's 7, 4, 8, 5. So in here you get some key cards, but you need to get some from the blue briefcase, so we'll go to that now. So just change your little icon to the blue key, so make sure you've got it. But then we're going to have a look. So the square is a 0, then it's a 2, a 6, and a 3. So it should be 0, 2, 6, 3. Doesn't matter what I do, this thing won't budge. I guess it's locked. Is it just like the red briefcase? So key in, and then 0, 2, 6, 3. Oh my god, we've already been through this. But yeah, every version of this, all the codes are the same, but you still need to find the keys and the actual little pamphlets, you know, for the codes. You need to find them all, otherwise the game won't let you progress, even though you know what the codes are. Looks like there's something in here. What is this? A file? File screen. If you find any documents or notes during an escape, the information on them will be stored in the file screen. Whatever. To open the file screen, touch File R in the top right of the bottom screen. Once at the file screen, select files by pressing them, or press the control pad on the control pad. If you touch Search, the contents of the file you selected will be displayed on the upper screen. Alright, let's see what's in this file. Digital root. Let's see here. Compute a digital root with the following steps. First, add all the numbers in question to one another. If you end up with something greater than a single digit number, add the digits to one another. For instance, if you have a double digit number, add the number in the 10th place to the number in the 1st place. Keep adding digits in this manner until you have a single digit. That final single digit is your digital root. Example, the digital root of 678 would be 678, 21 plus 2, 1 is 3. So digital root 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. Therefore the digital root 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1. I see. So, if I just keep adding numbers till I get a single digit number. Oh, looks like something's at the back of this thing. A notebook, pen, calculator, and a stack of keycards, huh? So, we need to find out how to leave the last room, or this room, and the way you do it is you need to find a digital root of 5 with, I think the cards are 1, 2 and 3 and 6, 7 and 8. So you need to, if you do get stuck, you can use the calculator on this, which will appear at the bottom screen, but I rarely use it anyway, because I write them down while I'm playing, and I usually forget that the calculator is available on the game because I have a piece of paper like near me anyway. So when you first click on the card reader, he'll try and swipe any, and it won't work obviously because it doesn't know how to do it. But you need to calculate a digital root of 5 with 3 cards. But I'm going to leave that for now, and I'll leave it till the next video. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the format that I'm doing this in. So if you like it, please subscribe. If you don't like it, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next upcoming video. It should be here within the next couple of days. But until then, have a nice day, and I will see you soon.